being a target also means you're subjected to a whole lot of traps, and perpetrators trap you to gather some kind of hardcore evidence to try and use that, fool the public, to try and completely demolish and destroy you. In my case, the biggest trap was that I was offered a 2-month contract, a 2-month freelancing contract, where I was going to try and complete whatever was remaining of my outstanding work. I just resigned from my employer where there was a lot of workplace mobbing happening. And then I decided that it's time for me to move on. The energy and the vibe within the environment or the office wasn't really productive. Actually, my entire employment was more of a scam. I didn't know that I was sort of hired only to be listed on some insurance scheme or some kind of fraud. But my gang stalking or my defamation of character, the campaign that was around that, was about me being this con artist or being this con man, or ironically being this guy who is not qualified to work, who can't do his work. And I think my employers wanted to show the rest of the public, so that they can sort of badmouth me or get me completely out of trying to ever find work again. The only way they could do that is if they could video record me struggling to work. So they did that by offering me this freelancing role. I didn't know at the time that I was going to go home and try to work. I think they were hoping that if I'm at home, I wouldn't be I would be watching TV every 5 minutes and maybe just having coffee, maybe relaxing, not knowing that they're secretly recording me doing all of these things and then live streaming them to the public and then showing them and going, look, you see, this is what we mean when we say this guy really is a con artist. This contract, 2-month freelancing role, my manager offered me at about a good $3,000 a month. So it was actually quite decent. And it was going to look very, very bad if for that amount of money you couldn't produce the work, you couldn't produce the goods. It started off the first day when I moved into my house trying to work. It wasn't happening. I think behind the scenes there's also this gang that's doing voice to skull. So whenever it is that I'm trying to type or do anything constructive, they're busy shouting at me on the screen that you're typing slowly, you're useless. You're doing it, and every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, I couldn't get a working rhythm for about 10 minutes going. Obviously, it's very disturbing if people are sort of shouting insults at you and doing all of these kind of things. And of course, it's voice to skull. These people could have been sitting a few blocks away, and I thought it was my neighbors upstairs. So every 15 minutes, I would be going to the bathroom or trying to drink coffee or being worked up to be very frustrated. I thought there was actual cameras in my house. I didn't know you could do this via remote neural monitoring. So whenever I wanted to use the internet, I would find myself going to an internet cafe, which is a few blocks away from my apartment. So again, it comes back to why did my manager feel the need to this sort of thing? It's a trap. I mean, it follows the same pattern. It's one of those, again, it's a golden rule or one of those textbook tricks again, that they're trying to gather some evidence. And so when I'm jumping up and down and I'm going to the internet cafe and somebody might have been holding a time and saying, look, this guy, how much work did this guy actually do in a day? Nothing. So I wouldn't know it's a trap because it kind of is almost in a way counterclockwise. If you're doing workplace mobbing and you're getting rid of somebody and you don't want them at your work, you probably want them out of there as quickly as possible. But then to offer somebody this sort of work opportunity again, only to be sort of recording them, it was going to be very difficult for me to pick that up as a trap. Of course, there are other kind of tricks and tactics that that are typical, like maybe road rage. That's another common trap that perpetrators use. So they intentionally get you worked up so that you can punch somebody and then you find yourself in jail, or maybe set you up to be a pedophile. It's not going to just be a lie. That's the point. It's not just going to be a basic lie. They're going to always try to substantiate it somehow. So as a victim, it's always worthwhile to keep in mind that these guys are always after you. These guys are always looking for something that they can use, something that's substantial, something that is going to be very difficult for you to come against or to try to deny.